Thank you for tuning into Natty News Daily weekly, where we cover the latest ongoings in natural bodybuilding. If you see a cool story you think we should cover, please send it our way, and maybe we'll include it in the next episode. And if you like what we're doing and would like to support us, please consider checking out one of our sponsors. Our sponsor, Core Nutritionals, for all your supplement needs. Code Natty News Daily, as well as GymPin. If you want to add weight to the machines in your gym, you're running out of room, check out GymPin. Also code Natty News Daily. Enjoy the episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is, oh, I hate that intro. Man, why did that come out? Welcome back to another episode of Natty News Daily Weekly with your true host of the segment, James. Now that we're past the mutiny of Leroy recording last week, no, he was actually helping me out. It's been a busy one, but we're back to it. So, starting off, a lot of athlete highlights this week. I'm going to cover a little bit of some science because I like kind of throwing that in there, and then a free promo for WMBF Ontario coming up, just because that's the show that we sponsor, right? But we are starting with Steve Macdonald here. He posted a physique update. No real context given in the caption. I'm assuming because he just posted this without saying that it was a prior prep, that this is his current physique, which, if true, is bonkers, right? Like, you can't get much more conditioned than this. Now, he's known for being very well conditioned. He's also known for being a freak hybrid athlete, right? Powerlifting champ, strongman champ, bodybuilding champ. The dude does it all, right? If it involves like lifting weights, he's probably pretty good at it, right? So, great physique here. I mean, you got cross striations across the entire every aspect of his legs. Uh, impressive, right? And like I said, if we pull up his page here, it's this physique update almost was a little shocking to me, just because his last bajillion posts are just him doing freaky things with weight, right? I mean, like 420 kg on the bar there, right? Like picking up some heavy stones. Like this is impressive, right? And I always love these like strongman and like Highland game type sports, just because it's just like a true expression of strength in a non-traditional way. Love that, right? So yeah, he can pick up big stones, he can move big logs, uh, freaky strong, and it translates well to his physique, right? So for those guys that are looking to kind of do it all, be strong and look jacked, Steve's someone to follow. So, and you can see here just some of his titles, right? 3 times DFAC, 3 times BMBF, Powerlifting Worlds, World's Strongest Natty. Impressive resume for sure. And I believe, at least in the past, coached by Andrew Chappelle, Dr. Andrew Chappelle, if not currently, unsure, but we shall see what he does. Coming up now, I love this. I absolutely love this content. Really well put together between Dirk and Brian, both coached by Berto of 3DMJ. Good comparison, and I'm going to show you something that's even crazier here in this next, which you might have seen if you're on Instagram. But so these guys, obviously both bantams, potentially lightweight, depending on like the cutoffs and how many people show up, but both world-class bantamweight bodybuilders. Both have done well in the past. Both we will see most likely on the world stage battling it out. And you can see, I mean, like Dirk is the champ, Brian potentially coming for an upset, right? And individually, they both look bonkers. They look ridiculous. They're both really well conditioned for as far out as they are. You can see their structure here, right? Like great athletes. Well, they worked out together, and we can see a real comparison side by side, which is something Instagram doesn't always offer us, right? Like everyone can look phenomenal on their own, but when you stack yourself up next to each other, you can see the major differences in their physiques here, right? Just with how small Brian's waist is. Now, from the side, Dirk's got a little bit more leg. He might be a little more like dense look. So he might take some of those shots. When he poses well from the front, big quads, but the waist of Brian is minuscule, right? Which we know the proportions, the symmetry, that X factor, like that can take it in certain shots. Especially look at this, the front relaxed, the back double there, and the back relaxed. There's a dramatic difference in those shots between these two. So Brian could edge out Dirk in a couple of these shots. The question would be it be enough shots? Would the conditioning be comparable? Obviously, being both coached by the same coach, you would imagine that they would be on the same level, but there's certain individual factors that are kind of outside of the athlete's control. So this is going to be a great matchup to watch, hopefully together on the world stage, WMBF Worlds, that is, that I'm referencing. So I'm just assuming they'll both get there, right? I think we can both agree that that's probably going to happen. So looking forward to that and looking forward to more content of this, right? If these guys keep like lining up stuff, this would be super fun to watch. So now I said a little bit of some sciencey stuff. This is from School of Gains, that AKA Bearcat and Bradshaw. This one I think Bearcat specifically posted talking about yohimbine, right? So if you guys don't know what yohimbine is, it's a naturally occurring substance. It's free and clear to use for natural athletes. It's, I believe, like a African tree bark or something like that, or a derivative of. Yeah, look right there. It says so. Should have read that. Um, I have actually used it myself in most of my preps for some periods of time. I'm using it right now for weight loss. Um, they go over, how it actually helps with fat oxidation, fat loss in this article here. And if you're interested in a true protocol, Lau Macdonald's Rapid Fat Loss Handbook covers the actual dosages that you should use, why you should use it, how to use it and implement it. And that's actually the protocol that I utilize. But read through here. They do a little bit of a breakdown, right? And it's very in depth as we would expect from School of Gains, right? Guys are incredibly smart. And a little shout to Legion Athletics, who has Forge, which is yohimbine, right? So that's their supplement, which kind of Bearcat is sponsored by. So he's putting that one out there. Moving on. Last thing, like I said, 24 weeks out. Now, this seems like a lifetime ago we hosted the first one, and we being mainly Leroy and Carrie as the main promoters, with Leo up in Canada and Natty News sponsoring it. But WMBF Ontario, last year we had, I think, close to 100 athletes in our inaugural show. It's lining up to be another massive show. We're trying to grow the female ranks, so our female competitors, we were a little bit weak on that the first time around. We're really trying to grow the bikini, figure, all those categories. Had 30 bodybuilding entries last year, hoping to grow that. We were able to hand out 2 pro cards for bodybuilding, as well as 2 pro cards for physique, right? So you can see some of the winners here. This is actually our physique overall champ, physique runner-up from last year, bodybuilding champ. Love the physique there. And both bodybuilding winners there. So number 1 and number 2 of physique and bodybuilding, and some of the female athletes that we were able to have at the show. So we would love to see you guys there. Ontario, 24 weeks. Up to 9 WMBF official pro cards. It's going to be September 7th. And the complex that we have it at is pretty phenomenal. Huge space, lots of like backstage space, separate posing, separate tanning, separate photography areas. So you're not kind of like all crowded in one another. And we had a great crowd last year. So I'm looking forward to it. I love going up there. Especially just because I get to see, Leroy and Dan. So hopefully we'll see you guys there. And that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode. If you liked it, let me know in the comments, subscribe, follow, share. Let us know what you'd like to see in next week's segment. If there's any interesting stories you see pop up, any athletes you feel like we should highlight, let us know. And I'll see you guys in the next one.